All right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the June 30th full board meeting to order. Welcome to the meeting, everyone. Today marks an exciting new chapter for the Columbia Economic Development Corporation. It is my privilege to officially introduce Jonathan Spampanato as our new president and CEO. Jonathan brings a sharp strategic vision and a deep commitment to community growth. His leadership arrives at the perfect time as we align our goals for the upcoming year. We are thrilled to have your expertise guiding our mission, Jonathan. Board members, please join me in giving Jonathan a warm welcome to the CEDC team. I'll give you the floor if you have any opening remarks.
Thank you very much. I will refrain from saying too much and let us get right to business because I'm sure there are many vacations ahead.
There are.
Very well.
All right. So first, the committee report. The executive committee. The new board member nominees. There is no executive committee head here.
I'm executive committee, but I was at the meeting.
Okay. All right, so I guess we can skip down if you don't have anything for potential board nominees to the cash flow management. Nothing, okay. The loan committee, sure. We can go to the loan committee and the portfolio dashboard. Thank you. You've got the list of delinquent loans in front of you. Loan client A, we've spoken about. I have no updates. Loan client B did make 2 payments, or a payment on each loan rather, but they remain 39. Loan client C, again, no new updates. Loan client B is in arrears. We left a voicemail message for that client, and after 3 or 4 more messages, we're sure to get a payment. Are there any questions on the dashboard? No questions. Can I get a motion to approve the dashboard?
Make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, the first of the loan request. Okay. The client is Nicholas Frechette. This is a $15,000 and working capital loan. Normally, this would have gone to the loan committee for approval, but we didn't have a full application, so they agreed to let us bring it to the full board. Because there is a timing issue, the client has received a $5,000 grant. It's a reimbursement grant. He needs to purchase the equipment and have it installed before the expiration. So once again, it's a $15,000 SBA microloan. It's a 48-month term. The payments are $365 a month. The interest rate is 7 3/4. And the collateral is a lien on business assets and a personal guarantee of the principal. Are there any questions? I get a motion to approve the loan. Motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Carrie. And the next, the loan request.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So this is a loan request from Ford, New York, here at Hudson Retail Establishment. The request of us was $75,000. That will spread across both loan funds across 72 months. Total monthly payment being $1,305. Interest rate 7.75%. Purpose of the loan: equipment inventory purchases, working capital, and our collateral, a lien on the business assets, the personal guarantee of the 2 principals, and a second mortgage on the property. This is Ford, New York, here at Hudson.
Any questions on this loan? Anyone have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Now the HDC initiative.
Yeah, I do have an update on that. As you recall, this is a joint loan arrangement between CEDC and HDC, where HDC brings clients to CEDC, where we underwrite and fund the loans and service the loans, and we pay HDC what is essentially binders. We did draw up an agreement and we reviewed that agreement, sent it back to us with a couple of suggestions. We forwarded that to HDC yesterday and we're waiting for them to get back.
Great. Moving on to the president and CEO.
Sure. Thank you very much. It's my first one, so it probably deviates from the norm, but I'll quickly go through. Start with the loans program, which we just heard details about. We're on track. We've got 2 loans on our agenda today. We met with HTC this past week. All is going well there. They plan on doing a soft launch with Martha to make sure that they've got the details down. And then we'll do a public announcement, that has both of our grants included, probably late August sometimes. The Friends of Public Square Bridge loan is on hold. Bumps is, going back to bid. They were planning on putting it to bid last week. They didn't, so we're waiting for an update from them. There's also some concerns about making sure they get the proper renewals for the money that we would use to collateralize loan. So they're making progress, but it's slower than expected. And the best news last, I don't know if I'm re-announcing something or pre-announcing something, but Martha and Steve secured another grant, a technical assistance grant from the SBA. Pretty significant one, very large, so that would be very helpful. At CEDC, several pilots in process, Blue Spruce Housing Development in Glacier and the Queechee Lake Motel in Canaan. Mike, do you want to talk about either of those?
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
The Queechee Lake project is about a $2.5 million project to reopen the 22 rooms, 14?
Yeah.
14 rooms at the Queechee Lake Motel. They have overcome an issue with their DEC had identified with their septic. If the facility had been closed for 10 years, they felt that they needed to build a new septic system. And we hope that they'll be able to have their application ready for next week's IDA meeting. We'll know that today, Mr. IDA Chairman. The other project is the Blue Spruce Motel. That's a $7 million IDA project that's been approved by the IDA after a public hearing. We expect to close on July 7th. The issue that we have there is that, as you know, there'll be a $70,000 fee. And we are going to present to the IDA board a request to pay the $45,000 in arrear and deferred CEDC fees that we had deferred because of the fact that they didn't have fee income coming from projects. And as you know, the contract that we have between CEDC and the IDA is that we get $24,000 a year for the administrative overhead, and then we get a 10% IDA fee. So in addition to the $7,000 that we would earn on the closing, I will request on behalf of CEDC at the IDA meeting the ability to be paid some or if not all the $45,000 that we've deferred over the last 2 years for administrative services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And one last note on CIDA. Mike, Andy, and I had a courtesy call from some developers who are interested in a project in Copake. They just came in as a courtesy call to present their vision. They didn't ask or discuss anything about any county provided incentives at all. They were going that night to the Copake CPA. So this is not a secret. I think it was their second meeting at the CPA. I don't know how it went, but it's a very exciting project, the old Rojan School. So finally, after several decades, there may be some action there. No news from the Hudson IDA. Mike, do you have anything you want to share on this?
No, we did address a FOIL request that we had received with respect to the pocketbook factory project. And we are now working on the mid-year pilot payments, and we're hoping that about half of the projects that have been approved are completed. There was $175 million of projects approved over the last 5 years. And we're now working with the developers to assist them with getting those projects that are completed done. And we have some potential new projects on the horizon, but haven't had anyone actually approach the idea.
Thank you. On to the land bank. Business there goes on. Board meeting this past month was mainly in-house details. Specifically, it looks like we'll probably have to bring up to speed our property disposition policy. And he shared some recent ones that other counties have adopted that are much more comprehensive and much more policy oriented instead of legal oriented, I think. So other details I'll share over the upcoming week. from Chris. There's a grant, that we recently were notified that the land bank received. About 275,000, I think was the.
It's actually a grant to the county,
County,
that
technically, yeah.
CEDC is under contract to administer. It's a grant to do a study of vacant, or abandoned properties. And, you weren't, you have 1 year to complete it after, you sign the paperwork with the state. And, they, I guess, advised Chris yesterday that, we can pick the date that we want to start. So, the thought would be that we would work this summer, with Jonathan to identify how we'll go about the RFP process to get the, consultant on board. You know, one of the thoughts we had was to look for a company similar to and including the one we used to go out and identify where broadband was. They already, so that, you can identify these properties and then, bring in the technical engineering and, people, and then bring in the legal people. Rather than hire a firm that would do it all, use, much higher priced, survey workers so that we can get more value out of the grant. And the other two land bank items are, one is the project in Germantown, which is a partnership with Habitat. And, that is, the project that, Jonathan referenced, the need to amend the disposition policy. The other, project is in Valatia, and that's the project where state will provide funding for the land bank to purchase, from the county, the River Street Mill. And the process there would be, once that's done, would be to get bids from several demolition contractors, and then begin to market the project to developers, for affordable housing.
Very good. That's our land bank details, and then on to strategic initiatives, EPA Brownsfield grant, which is a grant that Greene County received, and we're collaborating with them along with the Hunter Foundation. And that's basically to identify brownfields throughout the county. It's all using EPA standards, so there's not a lot of discretion, there's a lot of formulas involved, but it's similar to the grant that just mentioned. That the idea is to really create an approach to identify parcels that aren't very productive, that could be economically more productive, and then what's the work that would have to be done to get each of those parcels. So we'll be holding a public information meeting, virtual only, in July. It's on the homepage if anybody's interested. And the Chairman Morrell will kick that meeting off. And then the County Executive Administrative Task Force met again this month. The meeting pretty much focused on the results of an internal survey they conducted of all the supervisors, basically asking them a series of about a dozen questions about what they thought the value, opportunities and weaknesses, potential weaknesses of adopting a county executive role or county administrator role or status role. And then lastly, we're also recruiting, as everybody knows now, for the county housing coordinator. That position is on our home site, on the homepage as well as the website, and the process is there. So if anybody knows any great candidates, please encourage them. I think this is going to be a difficult position to fill. Yeah, there's not a lot of people that have experience in the public sector with housing that we can go after. The private sector is probably unrealistic given itself. And last but not least, I think everybody maybe met on the way in. We have an intern for the summer. Jack was not with us earlier, but Jack Mullins is our summer intern, thanks to the county. So we've got some extra hands to help out. And that is my report. Is there anything else you want to add, Mike?
No, I think the transition is going very well, and I look forward to continuing to work with Jonathan and the board. Thank you.
Martha, anything else?
No.
Good. Okay.
Thank you so much. The Connect All grant.
As you know, we had received request from the county undertaking a study of broadband. We brought down from 4,000 unserved or underserved addresses to under 500. The state has a webinar coming up next week as to how the provisionally approved funding for the remaining sites in the county will be implemented. The last word from Washington was that they approved 800 sites to be built out in Columbia County to complete the work. 99 of them were through Starlink. And those were mostly in Canaan. The issue there is that, we did not take off the master list of the 99 addresses in Canaan and the 35 in New Lebanon that are going to be funded, under then Congressman Delgado's, earmark. He didn't feel that it was appropriate for us to get them off in case that money didn't materialize and then have someone say that they were included. So we really are around 500 addresses and, we're optimistic. The only thing that, make it difficult is that, Starlink, went to the FCC recently and said, why would you invest in any more hardwired infrastructure when you could just use our satellites? And we don't know, whether the FCC on a political basis will, approve that and basically scrap the rest of the program. Again, if you're one of the 500 people who don't have broadband, you're probably, not happy, but, I think, collectively working with the 4 providers in the county and with the Board of Supervisors, we've had great success. We also had received, 2 years ago, $120,000 grant from the state, to do broadband implementation, libraries, schools, home health care, those types of activities. Once we got down to the level of, unserved and underserved addresses that we did achieve, I went back to the state and said, could we use this money to, work with you on a cellular service, study? And, they were very excited about it, and, we moved forward. It's $60,000 a year where we have to put in 15,000, so that it's a $75,000 a year program. The 15,000 that we have to put in, would include the retainer that we're already have agreed to pay MC Fiber as our, consultant, and also, time by staff. So we're putting together the time that I've spent on this over the last year and a half since we modified the contract. The work is completed. The state seems satisfied with it. They've in fact asked us to provide a proposal for phase 2. Proposal is ready. They have reviewed it. They wanted us to, touch it up and send it in. I'm not comfortable sending it in until we get, final approval from them to pay us the 60,000 that we're currently owed. It's a reimbursable grant, so we have to pay it, to demonstrate, that the work is completed and paid for, and then apply. The Empire State Development Board of Directors is going to review the requisition to pay us, at their July meeting. Once that happens, they'll come to us and ask us for the documentation that we've paid the consultant. You know, at this point, this had been previously approved, but I do want to get subsequent approval, from the board for the payment of the remaining balance of the $60,000 contract that the board had approved with MC Fiber, so that if there's any question when we submit the requisition, we can demonstrate that, the project, contract was approved, the previous payments were approved, and the final payment is approved. Fortunately, we received $145,000 for 2 quarters of SBA arrears in, early June. So, we are in a much stronger cash position. And then probably it'll be 30 to 45 days turnaround from the time, that we submit the requisition. And we wouldn't pay it until the day before we, submit it. So, basically, again, approval of the payment of the final, contractual obligation with MC Fiber, in connection with the cell service report.
Does anyone have any further questions on the MC Fiber final balance payment? Does anyone have a motion to approve the payment of the remaining balance?
Big motion.
Any second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
What the study was, they went to each town and did 12, they bought 3 burner phones, one for each of the providers that operates in the county. And they did, based on a desktop model where they identified where the cell towers were, they identified spots to, undertake gaps. And then the issue would be then for the state, the providers to go to, it's known as a, community anchor institution like a firehouse or a library, and identify, where to put towers. We made it clear to the state that we're not in the business of recommending anywhere to put towers. Let's we'll leave that to a different process. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to go into an executive session, so I need a motion to go into executive session for 610 State Street.
Motion, Madam Chair. Under section 105 of the New York State Open Meeting Law, the executive session would be to discuss proposed acquisition, sale, or lease of real property. Where the public discussion would substantially affect the value of the property.
Motion, Christine, in second. Lisa, it was Michael Johnson and Barry Graziano. We're out of executive session and we need a motion to approve the BBG contract
I'll make a
to
motion.
appraise
Second.
Brian and then Derek. All right, we went over the other costs and CIDA, so we'll move on to the treasurer's report.
Thank you. The first item I have is to have you consider a resolution authorizing John to be put on all the bank accounts. When we go to the bank to do that, they require a corporate resolution. And the second is I had a $5,000 spending limit without board approval. And I thought you should ratify that John has the same.
All right, so first, any questions on either of those? Do we have a motion to authorize Spampanato to be on the bank account?
So moved.
Michael, second, Graziano,
In favor.
all in favor? And to authorize that same spending limit for Jonathan Spampanato,
So moved.
Michael, Brian. Any questions on that? All in favor? Aye. Approved. All right, the CRC grant approval we did. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes from last meeting? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any public out there? Victoria, do you have anything to add this meeting?
Not at this time, thank
Rachel, I know
you.
you were a few minutes, say anything to add for you? No, all right.
The only thing left is the treasurer's report. You have the financials in front of you.
Yep.
Basically, on the balance sheet, it's pretty stable. We are up $500,000 in assets and liabilities over this time last year. The bulk of that, of course, is the additional funds that we drew down from the SBA. And almost dollar for dollar. On the P&L, we're down approximately $40,000 on income. Those are we had budgeted for 2 IDA projects closing before in the first quarter, second quarter. So some of it's timing, and I'm working with Jonathan to look at a report that would show if we met budget for the rest of the year, based on the first 5 months of the year, where would we be? I don't like to change budgets. I'd rather explain deviations. But there are some changes because what Martha has got, the increases from 290 to 450 on the SBA grant. So we'll have almost $50,000, $70,000 of money this year that we had budgeted for in the loan program, but that has to be spent providing services to the loan program. So on the $40,000 off budget, below budget on income, we're $113,000. We had budgeted expenses of 588 and we're at 478. But if you look, 76,000 is employee expense, 12,000 is new initiatives, and 6,000 is SBA interest. We had, the SBA didn't charge us interest for a number of years, and we just over budgeted because last year we had under budgeted. but as they put money on the street. So, you know, we're in good shape, and, you know, I do think that, we'll take, finance committee meets in July, and, we'll have a more thorough report for you at the, August, July meeting. Any questions?
Any questions? I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, carried. Anyone, anything else to ask?
Thank you very much.
All right, need a motion to end the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? All right.